For those that are hearing me for the first time, let me set a little bit of a quorum. I do not sit here as an authority on the subject, nor do I position myself in any way to say that I know how you should be and how you should live your life out. So it's not a moral meeting. Nor in any way positioning myself to correct, police, and you know the rest of it. And I mean this when I say that hopefully you and I can meet. Because the assumption one can help another is rather egoistical, If I start with that, we've had almost from our mothers to our fathers to almost everybody we met, position themselves as though they know what is good for us. And we have lived by that bombardment. The very birth of a question is an assumption that you don't have the answer and somebody else has an answer. It's very interesting how a question pops up in our head. It usually happens out of a deep crippleness. Pay attention to this. Down the ages, there have been so-called wise people, people who know, and I see this around my life too. They quickly read a couple of books and they want to advise everybody how they should be. And this is rather callous. What they are doing is not callous. The programming that you can't answer you is the problem. There's nothing wrong, one seeking knowledge, one seeking understanding, one exploring. Nothing wrong. But if that exploration is to make one admit as though one has not the answer, one cannot come up with a solution, is a rather disgusting proposition of enslavement of humanity. So I start by holding that quorum for you. In ancient time, there's the word called guru, It got lost. They think a guru tells you or teaches you. No, a guru holds you in a way that you can learn. A guru always puts you in a process. He doesn't preach to you. There are people out there who are preaching, they want to save you, and then we find out we have to save ourselves from this. So I do not want to participate or prolong that crippled nature. You have come intact with your intelligence, your capacity to learn, and I do not want to play in any way just because of my position to exploit that conditioning that has been placed onto you. If I know something, the only difference is you are yet to know it. That's the only difference. I'm lost and I ask somebody for direction. He points a direction. That split second, now I know. So it's over. And this quorum is incredibly important. So we begin first on how that we hold ourselves. And that brings us to this subject of how to begin the inner work. I was rather worried when I put that title down because it's not a real statement. People can't relate to what does it mean to begin an inner work. First of all, most people don't have an idea there is an inner. It has been robbed out of them. In order to understand the inner, one must understand that I effect. As I am a profound effect. But what has happened to all of us is we have only realized the effect that has happened to us. Thus, the theory of the chocolate. I personally am in love with chocolate, a recovering chocolate addict. It is simply because I know what the chocolate will make me feel and I know the effect is no different than cocaine. I've never tried cocaine. I am reaching out for something that will give me an effect. We are aware of how we get affected. We miss the point that we are affecting. And this is the shattering truth. This is the shattering truth. We have been dismissed. Almost everyone volunteers to be our guardian, our guru, our guide, our teacher. Somebody is wiser than us. He knows the way. So when I begin the statement, how to begin the inner work, we are already hitting a roadblock. From the very beginning, you are not there. All that is there is the theory of the chocolate. I know what will make me feel, and there are people who can produce that feeling for you. Someone once told me, when I'm with that person, I feel love. I said, there must be a good magician. It's easy to make somebody feel loved. It's very easy. It's somatic. It's just energetic. It's a flower and a couple of compliments. They will feel very loved, but that is not loved. So we begin, before I go into the subject, I'm not even certain I can go into the subject. If you allow me, I'll ramble along a little bit today, which I'm very capable of doing. There has to be a me to begin a work on me. I'm so sorry, I'll tell this story again and again. It's my grandmother, my father's side. She's a priest caste and a drunk. Don't ask. Japanese time tragedy. I had the most profoundest effect. Only later I realized this. She's the only one who saw me for me. She saw me for the effect I brought. She looked at me. In her presence, I existed. I was there. So, around the world, people think they are doing inner work. They are not doing. You must forgive me. You can challenge this statement. They are not. They're just going and copying somebody. They're copying an ideology, this belief, that belief, or something. They're going outward. And more so, they're only functioning from the chocolate effect. We eventually figure out what makes us feel good. And then we learn to manipulate our feelings. Slowly. Somebody once asked me, why, Master, do you speak? I said, because I am not allowed to tell them anything. I can only talk with them. I cannot allow to tell them to do this, do that. That's ugly and stupid. So I need to communicate with you. Maybe in that communication, something can wake up. So most people do not begin in inner work. They go ahead and look for the chocolate effect. Somebody meditates and he said, I feel good. I said, why do you have to close your eyes for an hour to feel good? Chocolate does it for me in a few minutes. And it's a horrible experience sitting for 1 hour closing your eyes, if you ever really tried. When I was much younger, I attended a meditation class and sat, and at the end the teacher asked me, what is the best part? I said, when you rang the bell, I thought you fell asleep. That hour felt like 10 hours. But for some people, it becomes a chocolate. They do it, it feels good. But they forget that they are not an effect, but they are the effector. So now the inner work begins when you know how I am affecting me as how I am. Let me give you this way. Have you ever been with people you like? I don't know whether we are prejudiced to like or dislike somebody. That happens. But sometimes you see somebody, you like them. That's his effect. He's the kind of person who holds himself in a way that he can be liked. That's his effect over him that I'm experiencing. Let me ramble along because I haven't thought this subject through. We have been exposed by everybody looking at you and telling you what you should do, how you should do, and they are wiser. They are losers usually. Sorry. There are people who can't deal with, they messed up their own life and that's why they are doing it. And by that, you were pulled out to look at another. You were never allowed to participate with what is here. I was just asking Nora to send me some statistics. She does some research for me. She said, at least in the research they said, 800,000 people commit suicide a year. That means every 40 seconds somebody is committing suicide. And over 260 million people suffer from depression worldwide. This is the statistic, and I'm sure it's far more. My suspicion, part of that effect is, we were not taught how to begin the inner work. In order to say the word inner, that means I'm saying there's something here. I am not just the effect that I experience with the chocolate. But it is not allowed. Let me just go on that line. It is not allowed. You are not allowed to exist because these wise people, these other people, you must do like what they do and you must follow them. And by that, there is no you, there is only that you need to fulfill. By that, you cannot pay attention to you. And this is a global truth. This is everywhere. This is not just here, it's everywhere. You would be lucky if you land up with a grandmother like me, like mine. She kind of held me to me. She's the sweetest lady in the world. Her gaze will stop you in your track. At least it stops me. She'll hide a cookie and come and give me. I only understood this later when Master was learning and traveling, and I understood this, that she acknowledged I was there, not I was just a subject to be preached upon, that I was there. And I had to deal with me. That I'm here. I'm answerable to me. I exist. The moment there is an understanding I exist, the inner work has begun. The work has begun. You are participating with you, if that's the right language. Like when we fall in love with somebody, it's again an effect, somebody made you feel love. If not, if you fall in love, the inner comes in. Now I am participating with this, that I'm waking up with another. Understand the inner work? If not, the only work is to satisfy what has been placed onto us by others. You see, evolutionarily, we are tribal. We are a pack animal. Evolutionarily, we cannot survive alone. We are not like a lion or something that can live alone. We have to live with one another. And of course, in that, we have to satisfy one another. We have to fit in. That's part of our evolution. But in order to fit in, I must wake up to the part of me that fits with another, fits with this world. That part of me is what is missing. And we are terrorized by the expectation placed on me. Again, when Master speaking, don't assume I have the answer for you. I have a bunch of studies if you're interested. You can study, you can explore. And we got comfortable being absent. If a question arises, we look for somebody who has the answer. A man was asking somebody, when we die, where do we go? The priest said, to heaven. The boy looked at him and said, I thought underground, because that's what he saw. So the inner work starts when I become present, when I'm here. I don't want to talk about these words. They say here, now, and this is all words again. Anything that appears in Facebook eventually loses its meaning. It becomes a cliche, it becomes... And there is a great pain in recognizing I am here. Then I come into play. See, when I satisfy somebody, it's very easy. When I satisfy the idea of the society, it's very easy. I go become successful, I make money, and you know the rest of it. It's very easy. You can do that. It's not a big deal. But when you are there, you have to answer this. That is here. I'm present. And in order to be present, or in order to begin the inner work, I must have no authority. Can I say that, sir, if you don't mind? I have to kind of become alone. And I begin by watching, as I am, what is the effect I'm bringing. Not the theory of the chocolate. What is the effect I'm bringing? You see, many of you bring beautiful effect, but you are not aware of it. There are people, when masters see, I break out into a smile. There are people I see, I break out into something else. In the East, they have 400 gods, deities, and however you want to look at it. One of the deepest understanding of it is the 400 effect this person actualized. That each individual, according, and I'm agreement with it, they bring forth something. They bring forth something. Now, to actualize that what you bring forth is the beginning of the inner work. There are people you meet, love happens to you. If you look at them, love happens. That's the effect that person brings. Now I'm looking at what is the effect I bring. I know it's a bit, that is why this subject was rather challenging for me, because the base understanding is not there. Right now, the popular understanding is read a book, ask somebody, and just follow that and copy that and go on. That's it. And it's almost supporting the absence of you. The inner work begins when you cannot dismiss you when you are there. You are here. It's almost the statement of Jesus, if you don't mind. When he told his followers, they said, can I go back and bury my father or mother? And he said, let the dead bury the dead. It's a very profound statement. They said the person never was. So we again move one step on a different direction. There is an interest in you not being there, then who will follow? So there is an interest in you not coming into picture. There is an interest in you not recognizing your effect. There is only an interest in seeing what will affect you. Many people, in the name of doing inner work or seeking, they are again looking for a chocolate. The more I talk about chocolate, the more I'm thinking about chocolate now. What am I thinking about? Am I thinking about chocolate or how good I feel after eating that chocolate? My problem with chocolate is once I eat it, I can't stop. The house must be empty of chocolate then. So that makes me an addict. The effect is so strong, it lures me. Isn't it? Again, I'm not against the effect. I'm not against the effect. It's part of receiving something from another. Right? But the missing I am an effect. Now, if you ponder for a moment with me, do you know the effect you bring? As you are, what you hold. If you have run businesses, which Master do, companies, we kind of know who to put where. There are people that you find, you put them where things has to be destroyed, demolition. there are people you put in places, just by their energy, things might grow. You understand? And this has been taken away from you. My grandmother had that look. Remember, she died when I was 15 or 16, so it's an old story. She has a look when you sit with her, the effect is you feel loved. Like you feel accepted. You feel like you're okay. You feel like I can exist. You might not be interested in this, what I'm saying. And I understand if you're not interested. You know why? Most people want to get advice, to give others advice. Most people want to have power to tell people what to do. And by that, the only power people have is the power to make you not realize the effect you are here to live out, which is the first discipline. If you take a moment and scan through your life, you will meet many people that have had profound effect on you. That is the effect they produce. Like the chocolate has a property to affect me. I might get affected. There's another quality, but the chocolate itself has a property. What is your effect you are here to live out? Now, what is the inner work? I give you a simpler version. Is to actualize that. But can I pause for a moment to ask you this? That this never even occurred to us, isn't it? Me producing an effect as I am. For a moment. If you're married, that's a good experiment. You know the effect the other will bring to you. Can be both positive or interesting. Now, I pause here a little bit because this is part of the study of the D4 too. They're really doing the work in it. How you have been persuaded to be blind to the effect you are here to live out. If we subdue people by bringing an effect to them, we are no different than the drug pusher. There's no different than the chocolate seller. No different, just different parameters of criminality, isn't it? So the inner work, if you want to touch on it, begins by first, I'm beginning to see what is the effect I produce as me. Can you relate with this for a second? Sorry. Or we have learned the trickery, what will affect me, and we run around shopping for what will affect me, and by that we suppress the pain of not recognizing the effect I'm here to live out. Of course, if I go to Acapulco or Maldives or somewhere, I'm going to be happy. It's a gorgeous place. It will affect me. But for how long? So the inner work actually begins when I realize I produce an effect. Now I have to pay attention to me. And the effect I produce is not what I want to effect, is something I discover. You understand, sir? And in order to be faithful to actualizing the effect I'm here to live out, I meditate, if you want to use that word. I pay attention to me. Right now, people don't see any necessity to pay attention to it. Have you ever done archery or have you taken a golf swing? You cannot pay attention to you, If you see golfers, it's beautiful. Maybe archery, many of you would have not done. Golfers, they go walk back and forth, look at the ball, look at up there, look at the ball, look up there. Test swing, test swing, test swing. And you can't even cough when the guy is taking the swing. He has to hold himself rightly to produce that result, which is an effect. So could it be, we have been very careless in nurturing ourselves. And almost everyone wants to have power over us. They want to produce an effect and enslave us. It dawns on some people, I got to be in a good space to do this. I like people who have done something that demands all of them, whether they are CEOs or sportsmen. They know that they have to hold themselves rightly to produce the effect they are meant to produce. You understand? We love another not just because we enjoy the effect. We love another because we honor the effect they carry for all. You see, sir? So pause a moment. Has this been robbed out of you? You feel like there's nothing there. Why bother pay attention? One has been made absent. And if we love each other, we actually hold each other to the effect they bring, Like Master, I have a lot of work going on, a lot of projects going on. I'm always shopping for the person that can produce that effect, who's embodying it. Usually we leave it with that person, that thing will get done. This state in the East, when they believe somebody actualizes it, they even make him a deity. Or they make him a guru, or something they do with that fellow. They say, this person can produce this effect. Right? But the effect they produce should be an effect that wakes up the effector in you. Right now, we are absent. So the inner work is not possible. Some cuckoo people channeling some nonsense and giving you some advice. Sorry, that's what happens everywhere. They say, don't think, I've thought for you. And they position themselves as an authority and they are bullies. If you don't do what they do, they will punish you. You understand? And usually they're nothing but ill intent and violent. They just want to rule somebody. The way to rule you, to tell you you don't produce an effect. Like I see online, like Chief and Giselle, is people very dear to me from Vancouver. I wouldn't have known about the native Indian tradition, and I wouldn't have been, even my name, part of the mantra was Chief's blessing to me. That's the effect. He holds the ancient effect. I always said, with you, the ancient light lives and I get to experience it. You understand? Like he's the holder of it, as how Master see it. It's an unbroken lineage for thousands of years and it lives off somebody. Like I sometimes think that I hold something of my own forefathers. Something. I cannot be available to it. It's not part of my effect. He carries that. For all. You understand? I cannot see it. And now, being a custodian to an effect, I have to do the work to actualize it. Can you see? You understand? Like if you see Van Gogh or Rembrandt, they are geniuses. They produce, they are something, they produce that art. I can't do it. I wish I could, but I can't. And they had to work on themselves to actualize it, isn't it? You see how beautiful that is. So you cannot possibly follow me. It's not possible. I live a particular effect. You have to discover the effect you are living and to live out. And in the East, the nature of a guru, he is the custodian for your effect and hold you safe so you will wake up to live that effect for all. Now, having established that, now we can discuss about the inner work. The work I have to do upon myself. How I must hold myself. How I must hone myself. You understand? The inner work. The inner work says, I am here. I am right here. You see what happened? This is the tragedy. This is part of the fourth discipline. I'm just spilling over with you. So much has been put to us how we should be, and one has to rather do the opposite to be super. That's why the Superman wears the underwear the other way around. Have you seen Superman? It's in a rush. Sometimes it happens. You put the pants on and you realize I haven't put my underwear on. He has to kind of reverse it. I'm just trying to be funny. You have been told, and I'm not saying what they said is wrong. Should drive on the left side and the right side, and I agree. But to the point, you forget that you have something to offer. And maybe I'm not a big conspiracy theorist guy, but I think that this is deliberate. You are not allowed to recognize you, sir. It has been my privilege that so many people I've seen recognize, some of them are my students, that I see the effect they carry. And it's very easy to find out the effect. Tell them to do something. Give them a responsibility. Ask them to create a reality. Soon enough, you will know. So the experience of you not being an effect, you are only here to run around being affected, is the reason why we cannot understand the effect. We cannot understand what is inner work. Like I see, he's a new student. I like him. I don't know why. Feel safe. Maybe that's the effect he brings. I feel very considered. That's the effect. And that effect will do something for me as to how I hope the effect I carry, which is pure madness, will affect you too. Maybe all I'm suggesting is just wear your underwear differently. Don't listen to these guys. Then you become a Superman. The greatest tragedies are you can't recognize the effect you are here to live out. I don't know whether I should talk about it. Like my elder daughter carries an effect that makes me want to go out and buy a Gucci bag or some bag. She likes bags. She makes me want to, that's the effect. That girl should run a class, how to enjoy yourself and how to bankrupt your father. She has a PhD in that. I've never, her mother is not like that. So that's an effect. Because of her, I get to enjoy that. Like because of Rembrandt, I get to enjoy that painting. You understand? But now the question is, what is the effect I'm here to live out? And again, when I say meditate, please, even Master will struggle if you ask me to sit closed eyes for 4 hours. I'm telling you, I would struggle. Boring. I think it's another way they found out to torture people. Meditation is living without breaking of the view of you at all time. To know the effect I carry. Like Chief, I will always honor him, and I always, when COVID is finished, I'll invite him wherever I am. He brings that, I cannot find it with anybody else. He and his wife. They always say they are people who are tradition carriers. And I have many disciples that there are so many beautiful things they carry. But let me put it out there. So this is still the quorum, I am putting my hand together looking at the effect you bring. You may put your hand together to bow to the effect Master brings. That's perfectly fine. And the moment you recognize you are here and you are bringing an effect, you will pay attention to it. Like my father brought an effect. He was a decent man. I don't know whether I can be as decent as him. He's a decent human being. Good human being. I've never seen him have an ill thought to anybody. That was him. Growing up as his son, that affected me beautifully. You see? Now, I just touch a little bit. What is the inner work? Is eyes paying attention to you, finding out your own inner demand and the lessons that you need to learn and the nourishment you must give yourself, that what is here will bloom. If right now you can grasp this, I'm saying, you have found meditation. You never have to do it. You are doing it now. Then we are right by each other. We ask the right effect from the right person. I shouldn't ask the effect of chocolate from a lemon. Maybe a twist of lemon. I haven't tried it that way. Might, I don't know. I'm getting very creative now. You understand? So in that sense, did we come together to bring a particular effect for each other? When all of us are living the effect we are here to live out, maybe that is when all blooms. Could it be? If you ever study technology, and don't ask why, master, follow it sometime. One fellow will figure out a chip here, another fellow will figure out something over there, and they all come together, and suddenly they all will meet together. And it becomes something amazing. And then you have this iPhone. Now you can watch porn while you are driving. That's what human being will drop it down to. Maybe if you don't mind, I'll just be brave enough to say this. I'm going to look at people and ask, how dare you tell me who I am? And how I should be. By that you want me to follow your view and deny the existence of me. Now, what is the inner work? Let me just be true to the subject. Maybe finding out my own thirst, my own desire, my own movement, what my system needs. You understand? And to give it that is meditation and action of being faithful to the growth of me as me and without a guilt. Yes, somebody will say you are selfish. Well, I like shellfish. Thank you. So could it be the inner work begins when I know how to nurture me? Maybe Buddha needed some space, like in the Western days, I need space. So he left. He sat under a tree, And that's how he nurtured him. And because of the nurturing, he became enlightened. You get what I'm saying? I of late have this desperate need, my nurturing, to carry my camera and take some pictures. Silly, a man of my age running around taking pictures, but my business. It nourishes something of me that helps me to live me, not just for me, for all to. So maybe the inner work begins by the question, have I given me what I need? Maybe I need to sit quietly for a while. Like Geeta knows, like every night, I must be left alone for a few hours. This has been happening for about almost 30 years or more. Just a few hours, leave me alone. Why? Am I meditating? And call whatever you want. I need to sit with me. Just being with me. I'm not doing anything special that anybody should follow. I need to do that for myself. I'm nurturing me. You understand? Maybe a handful of chocolate, but that's the fallen day. The way I diet is very beautiful. I don't allow that food in my house. That's as much as self-control I got. And that's okay. That's being human, I suppose. Especially the chocolate from Switzerland. They should never send me, and they keep sending it to me. I think they have ill intent. They want to kill me with diabetes. Because once you eat it, you can't let it go. But even that, let me ask you, I'm making that point. Maybe your body needs something, isn't it? There's a pregnant women crave for crazy things, They say, at least in the East, and they crave for this, crave for that, And it's found out by science, the body is asking a particular, nutrition for itself. And we are speculating that is going to give it to me, that is going to give it to me. You understand? So I'm asking, how do I begin my inner work? Maybe you got to go, if you ask my daughter, you got to go buy an expensive handbag. I rather have a plastic bag and the money that I paid for the handbag in it than a handbag without money in it. So we just have a logical argument. I know all you women will not agree with me, but my daughter keep convincing me it's an investment. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is. Have you been good to you? Have you nurtured you? Now I've got doctors who give me all kinds of vitamins and supplements and virgin coconut oil. I go like, yeah, right. But they say it's a virgin. Who am I to question? And they say, this is good for my body. They say, your body will be healthy. And okay, that means I'm nurturing me, right? So what is the inner work? First, to establish I'm here and I bring an effect. I have something to offer. Now, let's just master slaughter some of these guys. There are people out there who want to be this, that, and the other. They want to have power over you. They will never allow you to nurture you. Now, what is meditation? In the beginning, there are sadhanas later, There are deeper sadhanas. I'm just talking about the very entry. What is meditation? Giving me what I need for me to live out the effect I'm here to live out. You understand? Like lately, Master have been producing some music for meditation and all that. Been producing. And the boy's name is Kishan, and Anba kind of oversee him. And I asked him, what do you need? What do you need to produce this? Do you need this much money? What do you need? You tell me. Because I had to give him what he needs to get the effect I want to get out of him. You get what I'm saying? The moment you recognize that you are here holding an effect, you will do the inner work, then you will fine-tune you. And maybe that is the learning, how to fine-tune you. But who you are and the effect you are here to bring is unique to every human being. No one else can bring that for you. Like they ask, why is there 400 gods in India? I said, why so little? Aren't all of us a gift bringer? The bowing in the Eastern culture is that, we bring each welcome the effect everybody brings. Now, today, I'll not go into that, but let me touch on this subject. How did you lose this? What happened? You didn't have a grandma like I did? You didn't find somebody who looked at your eyes and said, thank you, my God, look at the effect you bring for me. And help you to recognize that. Like I've here, one of my students. I see him, I always feel like I'm with a friend. I feel safe. Maybe I'm reducing it to my effect, which I shouldn't, but I'm just saying the effect I experience for him. He's like somebody who will be there for you. I'm like, wow, thank you. And this is just me recognizing a very small part. Could it be the inner work begins when I recognize I'm here and I produce an effect? Yes, I agree you produce an effect, but you please agree that I do produce an effect. By that we shall consider each other A, B, and C. I'm here, you are there, and we are together. Maybe that can be a line somebody use. What a nice effect like you doing in a place like this or something. I've been watching Western movies. Can you see? There's a master sometime, my position and what I do, I'm constantly putting this right. The effect I produce should not dismiss the effect you are here to live out. More so, by me living my effect, I'm reminding you to live your effect, and hopefully it's not the same effect. But can you see this has been removed from human consciousness? Maybe today I direct it to this. I'll finish shortly. Today I need to make it short. Have you nurtured you? We have an ashram, in Sweden. It's a place to go and sit and nurture yourself. If you need to be silent or quiet. And no one can do this for you. You see, Master was 15 when I first picked up a paintbrush and I started painting. I was 15. Now I'm 35. No, that's not true. Come on, I'm just 42. Let's move on. I sense that I have a view of something that I want to paint. You understand? I didn't know that I'm going to be an artist, but I had a view. But that was not my full-time thing. So I'll paint a year or two, then quit, then paint a year or two, quit. And it's one of those things. I was so happy last year, or a couple of years ago, that I actually started painting the way I wanted to paint. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. That's what I was looking for. I actualized it. And what is that painting? It's an effect I'm bringing. My effect, you understand? Somebody else will paint that differently. So I will begin the inner work when I dare to celebrate me. Can I say that? What I am doing, I'm not imposing anything on anybody. Maybe just creating a space that you can recognize this for yourself. To the point you won't even need me. And when you are nurturing yourself, and part of that height of that nurturing, when your effect grows, one day, this system will seek enlightenment. Why it seeks enlightenment? Only in enlightenment it can live this effect totally. Maybe that day we can talk. You understand? Maybe this is the question, I let it hang for you. Have you nurtured you? Have you given you what you need? Like I had a good fortune to be exposed to the native Indian culture, many, many cultures. They all nurtured me to wake up, to live the effect I'm here. I'm not self-made, I am made by so many people's blessing. And I needed all of it for me to actualize the effect I'm here to live out. Maybe that's what we are for one another, isn't it? Could I be talking about love? How dare they say I don't love? Because if I effect, don't I love? I don't know whether this is spirituality. Usually spirituality is we want to force some people's idea on everybody. So I really don't know. You know what I mean? It's not about you finding the belief. They want you to believe in the belief they want you to believe. You know what I mean? I'm saying the intent It's not kosher, sir. From beginning of time, man has been trying to rule man. Today I'm asking this question. Like a lot of people who work for Master, I'll always ask, what do you need? Sometimes they point at my Bentley car. I say, no, that I'm not giving you. What do you need? Never ask. I learned never to ask my disciple what you want. I'm very afraid what they will ask. I give them a bus ticket. What do you need to live you out? And then go. You are here to live an effect. You are here to live out. You understand? I think love affair is two people meeting are producing the exact effect that each other need to actualize themselves. I think that's a love affair. You understand? Now, have you taken good care of you? Maybe you need some time to be silent with you. Then that's your meditation. Or maybe you need to go hit some golf. I don't know. But chocolate is not recommended. They kind of don't leave the body. They kind of make a layer in the body. It's a damn thing about chocolates. So I'm not just an effect, sir. I'm not just the effect I receive from people. I'm also someone who bring an effect to the world. I'm a living light. Can I say that, sir? That's why I always tell my disciples, I'm not here to love all of you. I'm here to show you that you all love too. You know what I mean? I'm not here to love you. I actually don't care. I stand the truth that you love too, you bring an effect to. As enlightened as I am, or whatever I am, I keep being grateful to so many people in my life for the effect they live out, and I say thank you. How to begin the inner work? Lesson 1. Remember, you are an effect also. Can I finish now? I can finish a little early. Can I finish now, sir? Thank you. Bye, guys.